Right, let's return to the government scheme to create hundreds of thousands of work placements for unemployed young people. So will the new initiative succeed? Let's speak to Samuel Kasumu, who set up a charity when he was at university. He now works with 8,000 young people, helping them training and employment. And he joins me in the studio. Thanks very much indeed for joining us, Samuel. Do you think it's a good idea?
Yes, I think under the Future Jobs Fund, same cost, there was only 100,000 young people that engaged with it, and this scheme potentially could help 400,000, which is a big deal. Well, I guess for many of us, the issue is why it has taken so long to create such a scheme.
But is it big enough?
I guess time will tell. Like Lord Sugar said earlier, it really depends on how many people actually engage with the program and how the government goes about trying to get young people to buy into these schemes. Because I think that many a times people come up with schemes and they don't always work.
But some suggest this feels like one of those schemes, like the old YTS scheme in the 80s. You know, you do this for 6 months, then you're back on the job scrap heap, competing with lots of other people who are looking for jobs.
I think it really depends on who engages with it. I think the good thing about this scheme is that it's private sector led, but the private sector does need to buy into this for it to work at all. And second of all, you have to be able to engage the young people in areas where there are high levels of unemployment. Simply saying that there's a scheme somewhere, go to the job centre and they'll sort you out, it's not going to work. People have to buy into it, both the young people and the members of the private sector who ultimately hold the keys to being able to tackle the problems we have. The government cannot tackle youth unemployment by themselves.
Sure, you mentioned Lord Sugar. He suggested that, well, you know, if you're an employer, you could take some of this money, have someone for 6 months, dump them, take another one, dump them, and just go on and on and on. I mean, there's no guarantee of a job at the end of it, is there?
I mean, unfortunately, that will probably be the case many a times. But for the young people that do engage with the schemes, what they will have is what they don't have at the moment, which is work experience that is paid. I mean, we deal with a lot of undergraduate students, and we try to prepare them for the world of work, but so many of them leave. They have no job, they have no hope. But if this scheme is able to give them even an iota of hope, a bit of experience, then I think it will be money well spent in the long term for the young person, for the government, and for the private sector.
Sure. I mean, just tell us about the charity that you set up, Elevation Networks. How does that work?
Well, what we found, when I was at uni, what I found was if you studied at university outside of the Russell Group, it is particularly difficult for you to get jobs, and sometimes when you do get employed, you're underemployed. So it's not very good value for money to be paying the same amount as someone that goes to Oxford and Cambridge when only 1 in 20 of them are unemployed, and then go to a lesser uni and be unemployed. So we do a lot of work trying to help them to become more competitive. And then once people graduate or young people are unemployed that need some support, we're able to give them support where we can. We're also helping to deliver some of the government's new work programme.
Sure. Sounds like a great charity. Samuel Kasumu, thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.